right-hand corner of the black screen.
Got
And
press the X, but
Yeah, it says gallery
see
view.
myself. I don't know.
oh wait, hold on. It says that you have, hold on,
It should, it
More.
says gallery view.
ask to start video. I'm asking you to start your video.
Okay.
Yeah,
There he is.
are. I don't know why you came in without the video on. It's probably some setting.
that's how I came in too, and you had to allow the video.
Okay,
think it's a
so
safe-
I have start
Yeah.
video on now.
It's all your fault, Laurie.
It's me.
Yeah, I still can't see you guys because I see myself all the time.
Right.
Really?
Go up.
There's
to
like
the-
a wait.
But so you can select the speaker view or full screen view or gallery view.
It's
I'm
just
wondering-
like frozen. I can't do anything. I
Hmm.
just can't do anything. It's just like frozen.
Huh.
You're locking up a little bit, your video.
It doesn't matter as long as you see me.
All right.
We can hear you.
Maybe it'll adjust by
Welcome.
itself there.
Welcome.
Okay, welcome,
Can you
yes,
see
good
me?
morning.
We can see you
Yeah, we can see
Good
you.
morning. Good morning.
and all your pictures.
Okay, that's good. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my studio now.
Me too. My husband Jeff is upstairs in his
There we go.
office.
Why does he have COVID?
No, we have separate computers. And I
It's
have
all
to
right.
share
I kind of
screen. That was funny. No, we had it together though.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're staying away from it.
Good. Good.
It's pretty bad up here. We have a curfew. We can't go out at night. It's pretty tough. Everything's closed.
That's too bad. You know, that's the big reason behind this whole virtual championships.
Yeah.
Why it was started back in April of last year.
Yeah, I remember when it was popping up there, but then it just like disappeared, and I got back to work, so I couldn't keep up.
And that's fine, and I'm
with the
glad you got
posts and
back
that,
to
but
work. We also did
Yeah, well,
some
I'm-
major software
So
updates. We did some major software updates. So we were kind of off the radar for a little while, waiting for that to be developed. And so we've gotten that taken care of, and the contests
Good.
are up and running. We've discovered that we can't have anyone but the United States residents participate in auctions. Pam and I
Okay.
were discussing that this morning.
Yeah, we were.
Because
At this time. you know,
well, at this
At
time, I don't know if it'll ever be possible unless we were to do it like auctions within countries or something, like, you know, only for the UK or their mailing area or whatever, so that it was, because it's cost prohibitive on the shipping. And
oh,
but where with the USPS, they have those 5 different sizes of flat rate boxes that we can are free, that have a flat rate. I mean, the biggest price would be $21.60 from New York City all the way to Honolulu or Alaska. So you know, that's pretty reasonable if we had a flat
Yeah.
rate for auction shipping. But when it came to like shipping to the UK, it was $85 for the same thing.
Ooh.
And Canada was only $75.
wow.
So
we're gonna find issues like this.
yeah, stuff we
And-
hadn't thought of. But-
And we'll have to try and work through some of them, but this will not prevent us from going forward.
Right,
Well,
right.
There's
as
gotta
long
be
as
a
we
cheaper
can
shipper.
still participate, as long as we can still participate in entering our carvings, that's
Oh, absolutely.
more or less okay, but-
Absolutely. that is definitely possible. And we hope that you do, and we hope you enter as many as you can, because there is no time limit. There's no entry limit, with the
Mhm.
exception of, like, we wouldn't want you to enter 4 wood duck drake decorative decoys at one time.
Uh-huh.
You know,
One
gotta
time,
have
right,
a
right.
drake or a hen, one of each of those in a species. But other than that, you know, there's really no restrictions as to when you carved them, because we're brand new. You haven't competed at our contest or championship.
Oh, right, right. Well,
So
that's
do you have any
cool.
questions
Can't wait.
about
I
entering?
got, well, I had a few questions there, which were answered before there on Messenger, which is okay. And no, that's about it. I haven't tried to enter any pieces yet on the site, because I
Right.
just want to make sure if it was on, because I made the videos and that. Now I just have to
Wonderful.
upload them and enter.
Well, that's wonderful. I don't think it's going to be, I think you're going to be surprised about how it all comes off. And we're going to be available when you do your entries, as long as you don't do them at midnight or something. But if you do them,
Maybe.
maybe Lori's on it late and I'm on really early, like at 5:30 in the morning on Central Time. So we cover up almost all the hours that people can ask for assistance. And it's best to be really prepared and to really read, like, the user manual. We have the user's competitor guide.
Yes.
Competitor's user guide. And then Pam made up a quick reference guide.
Thank you, Pam.
Yes, she did a great
You're
job,
welcome.
by the way.
Absolutely.
And
Well,
those are downloadable. So, you know, whatever you need to do to get ready is best to do prior to actually entering. So is there anything about, like, the rules were you able to read the rules on the site?
Yes, I read them there. I just found it strange that the smoothie decoys had to self-write.
Well, they're
And they had to have
IWCA, they're
That-
fashioned after the IWCA style decoy, which do
Okay.
float and do self-right. So we just didn't want to call it IWCA style.
Okay.
But basically it's the IWCA rules, which will also work for the World Decorative Smoothie divisions and the World Rig division. Go ahead, Lori.
I noticed that you still have canvas decoys up on that page.
Up on which page?
Where it's talking about the different categories and what they
Okay.
have to do.
Yeah, we eliminated canvas because you can enter canvas into any of the traditional divisions if you want to. Well, maybe not shorebird, but
Okay.
so I'm gonna remove canvas. Okay, thank you, Lori.
You're welcome.
Um,
I think it was on the
So-
Have
support
people
page.
started?
I'm sorry.
Said I
Have
think it
people
was.
started to enter their?
Go, Joe.
Have people started to enter on the site yet, or not?
Not yet. Well, I
It's
have to check my
available.
email.
Not yet.
Maybe. Hold on. Let me look. Not yet.
Well, it's available for use now.
Now, it said that Vic had joined our meeting. Where's Vic? He must have left. I wonder if that's a different meeting. I'm checking my email to see if we have any new entries. I suspect that they're going to start rolling in, you know, pretty soon. I think a lot of it might be some people don't want to be first. There's always going to be those who are the wait and see, how does it really work, and ask, well, how did it work for you? Did you like it? Was it hard? Was it not
Nobody wants
hard?
to be a guinea pig.
You know, so that's why we're making ourselves available. We've tried every which way to break it, to make it so that things don't work. And it's not that we have made it so it's completely unbreakable, but we've covered pretty much all the bases with Leo here and Pam. And
Leo.
hi, Leo.
Hi, Leah.
Hi,
Glad you could make it. So
yeah, I was a little late, but
we do expect that there will be something that we hadn't thought of, but with people that didn't know what they were doing, like Pam and Leo, when they first started, they, as far as our software goes, they were able to actually produce errors that we were able to address with our developers that we wouldn't have maybe discovered for ourselves just because we know how to do it, or I knew how to do it. Even Lori's not real sure how to do the setting up of everything yet, but we're working on a manual for the back end right now. And but we finally, with all the different updates that we've had, got it to a point where we think it's going to work really well. We wanted to make it a good experience, not a frustrating experience. And, you know, the people who are entering, if they, and they will have to, they won't be able to upload a photo unless it's correct. You know, it's got to be more than 2,000 pixels high and wide. It has to be between 2 and 6 megabytes big. And then the video thing, I know that's a little bit of a curve, but you know, we've put a lot of time into instructions and videos and things like that for support. So we're hoping it'll come off smoothly for everybody.
No, it's a hard work, and you've been. I'm sure you've worked very hard at it, and it's going to be a good thing for sure. Especially like
We
these times now
appreciate-
with this COVID stuff that can't meet or anything like that.
It's so disappointing, you know. We really thought that the world would be back this year, that everything would be okay in 2021, and we kept on going
Really?
with our project because even if it didn't, it was another option for carvers who could go to a contest or a championship and actually attend it physically with their birds and still compete on the same weekend in a virtual championship. So because they wouldn't have to be there, it's only the photos of the birds, so they could win in our championships on the same weekend as they're at a physical championship competing with the same birds. That could be kind of fun. And the way
It'll give a chance to a lot of people that can't make it to like a personal event, and you know, like let's say somebody from Hawaii that can't make it to Ocean City. Well, at least he has a chance to participate. Or got someone from Canada that can't make it down to the U.S.
That's right. And even if let's say that you have some carving, some decoys that a collector has, and it's not, you know, something you can get a hold of this year, but maybe in the next year to come, before the next 22 championships, you'd be able to get access to those birds and photograph them accordingly. There you've got another entry
Right.
for a different year, because you can only enter it once, but if you've never entered it, it's still eligible. So that kind of opens a door for some possibilities if you feel like that piece is competitive at the same level that you're at right now. You might have won as a novice with that piece, but you'd have to compete at an open level because, or if you're in open, you're in open now, aren't you, Joe?
Yeah.
Wait, for a long
Yes,
time
yes,
now.
I am.
So,
Well,
yeah,
it's a couple of years now.
okay. That's a long time.
Doing good at it.
So actually,
good at
things
it.
shut down too soon for you to really take advantage, you know, and I am worried because, you know, I'm one of those who would really like to win a world championship ring one day. You know, is that ever going to happen
Me
again?
too.
Me
You know?
too.
Me too. I'd love it.
Is that ever going to happen
Yep.
again? Now, we have toyed with the idea if it all went asunder and we were the only venue that worked, maybe we could come up with a ring that would be awarded at once things were established and money's made and we paid for our investment. So,
Yeah, I'm sure. Sure must have
I
cost
enjoy
you
your
a couple of
enthusiasm.
dollars.
yeah, just a couple.
Mm.
Mhm.
Plus a lot of sweat equity, but yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I could imagine.
And we're hoping that once somebody does enter, there's going to be those who will say, well, you know, how was it? And if it was good for you, we hope you'll talk about it. Or if it was bad for you, you hope you'd let us know so that we can see what we can do to make it
Correct
better
it.
for everybody. It's not infallible. And
Right.
there's always something we haven't thought of, like the whole trying the auction thing and realizing this morning actually that we could only have it for the US.
For the
Well,
You,
okay.
time being.
So
Mm.
For the time being.
for the time being, yeah, maybe we can do Canada to Canada auction, you know, within countries where your buyer could be
We
within
have
the
not
country.
even explored our options yet.
Yeah, but like I said, that was just 6 hours ago. I realized that. So that those changes have been made to the
Disappointing.
website. The other thing that I did change this morning that I thought of in bed sleeping, I on the decorative divisions of decorative wildfowl, we don't want a picture of the bottom of their entry. Not like we want of
Okay.
the decoys. So what I did was instead of screwing up the number of photos needed, I just said you could have 3 views of your choice. That could be close up
Okay.
or, you know, whatever. So that, and decorative, I think that's even more appropriate to have some views of choice
Yeah.
for the entrant. So that I changed. Let's see
Well,
here.
mine are taken. My pictures are taken already, so I'm gonna have to send you a bottom picture.
Oh, no, you don't have to say, oh, okay, you can send a bottom picture. That's fine. I'm so sorry. I hadn't thought about those. You know, I kind of wondered if people were
But
just gonna wait until we opened to take their pictures to make sure that it actually happened. Because, you know, we really thought we would pull this off in 2020 and it just wasn't good enough for 20, and the software wasn't good enough. This had to be something.
Because the view of the bottom is still good because you get to see the tail part of the bird and the breast part of the bird.
Okay, well, I'm talking
From the view from the bottom.
decorative life-size wildfowl and decorative miniature
Uh-huh.
wildfowl and interpretive wildfowl sculpture. Those 3 are the ones that we don't need bottom views for. But for the decorative floating decoys, yes, we do need the bottom, and that was kept for those. So
Okay.
you're okay because you're
Put
doing the
tape over
floating
your
decoys.
name.
Yeah, you just want to cover your name. You know, I found it real
Yeah.
easy to do with my photo was of the bottom of my, I don't know, I did a test on three of my own birds as entries and, you know, 8 different photos of each. And when it came to the bottom of the decoys, I actually used a graphic piece of, you know, same color as the bottom of the bird, but it was just a mask that I did graphically instead of with tape. Which worked out really well, looked really clean actually. So there's also that possibility for those people who have taken pictures and forgot to tape over it. They could go back and maybe, cover it up in that way.
Good
So,
question. You said there was three, a decorative life-size wildfowl, decorative miniature wildfowl, and there was one other one that didn't.
interpretive wildfowl sculpture.
Thank you.
Just taking notes.
Good for him.
So, was there, now the only thing we have left to do, and really is for me to make sure that I have, okay, today I got a thing from the World Championships about a donation. They have an agreement form to sign. And I'm thinking, and I thought about this agreement form last night in bed before I even got that email. Thought, we need something to bind the carvers to make sure that they're going to ship their item off after the auction's over. And sure enough, there was that one from the Ward Foundation this morning. And so I started drawing up an agreement, and that's when I started to realize that we were not going to be able to have anyone but the US, because you have to require that they're going to use USPS, because then that's a flat rate ship, same price for everything, and that they would have to have their pieces be able to be securely packaged and still fit into these medium, large, and flat rate small flat rate boxes.
Laurie,
Yes.
is this agreement form modeled after the Ward Foundation form?
Not really, because they're doing a different model. What we're doing is a 60-40 auction where the carver gets 60% and we retain 40%, where the Word Museum is doing you can do your donation. They want to know what its value is. Basically, they want to know if you would put a reserve on it, if you would want to go 50-50 with the auction price and set a reserve. If you want to go 75-25, where you keep the 25 and set a reserve, or you go 100% donation, and then they have the right to set a reserve, remove any item from the auction, and they keep all the money. So there's three different options for you to choose from, where I'm not sure how they're going to handle their shipping of these donations. If they're going to, I thought it would be better for me to just have them tell me who I'm supposed to send it to once all the transactions are done, and agree that I will do that, because why ship it twice? Why risk it twice being lost or damaged? And the cost of shipping is out of this world. So ours is going to be so that, if you participate in the auction and we're going to have to ship your item, you're going to be shipping it through USPS with the free box. It's priority mail, so they're in the mail the least amount of time, and you'll have to ship it. Now, you can have the shipping picked up. You can print your label out, and you can have your boxes ready to ship things out, and just make sure everything fits within those simple boxes that they give us for free. And
It sounds like this system's a lot less complicated.
right, then and we could actually flat rate ship to the UK, but that's when and to Canada, but that's when the prices went up to
Well, when you're talking several thousands of dollars, so it may not matter.
right. And
That's
it
true,
may
too.
not matter, although we do have kind of a $5,000 cap on our pricing when it comes to the auction, which is
For the time being.
partially why you know, the smaller
That's a
pieces
good
are the
deal.
donation pieces. Not only are they easier to ship, but they're definitely going to be under $5,000.
Well, and everything has to be insured.
Yes.
Oh, I was just gonna say, when you were talking about the award, isn't it when you were worrying about how they're gonna ship it? Because they're still doing virtual, but isn't it virtual from, they're still asking you to send stuff in.
Right.
So
They are.
they
And
would be,
basically-
so if you send your piece in and you want that, because most everything, the way I read it, most everything that's there, other than one decoy, is small stuff.
Right.
So instead of them shipping it back to you, if you're gonna donate it, they're gonna ship it to whoever gets it.
Right. And I think they're probably banking on the fact that people don't want to, it's easier for them to just donate it and be done with it.
Right,
They wouldn't be shipping it back to you though, because it's a donation.
right, but so that's why when I didn't understand when you said you're talking about
They're
shipping.
gonna have to ship it to the buyer, whoever
Right,
buys it at auction.
If it's
right,
up
but
for
I didn't
auction,
understand when you talked about shipping it yourself, why it'd be easier for me to ship it to myself instead of the Ward Foundation shipping it. They wouldn't have to, because if you donate, if you enter into the Ward show with something and you donate it for the auction, they don't ship it back to you unless you decide to ship it back. They're going to ship it to whoever won it in the auction. So you only have to ship it the one time.
Right, I'm just talking
Just like-
that from the point that when we ship anything, the more times it has to be shipped to get it to its final
Oh yeah.
to
More
its
chance it
final
gets bounced.
destination, the more risk there is. Yeah, DeLynn just walked past.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been
So,
a couple of times.
yeah, so what I'm saying is I have the redhead drake head. I donated it last year, was gonna bring it with for the auction last year, and then of course it was canceled. Well, I'm still holding to that donation, but now I'm gonna
Okay.
have to ship it to them, and then they're gonna have to ship it to whoever, and I'd rather they just tell me who I should ship it to after the
Yeah,
auction.
that I can understand. I was thinking of it. I wasn't thinking if it was something that you had for last year. I was thinking it's something this year that you're sending there, and then
Well, it still is. I didn't ship it to them yet. I still have it.
right.
So it's still gonna have to be shipped to them. So
Yep,
what
I understand that.
Okay, all right. So I was thinking of contacting them and seeing, how they were gonna plan on doing that. And I suppose they'd rather have control over the pieces than maybe the carvers not following through. And
Yeah.
so, but that's why an agreement this morning. I thought, okay, we have to have a way to bind the carvers to their donation, because it's basically a donation for auction, and they keep 60, we keep 40, and then we use the escrow.com to handle it, so everybody's happy. And if we put a flat fee of $20 on these things, then
but
the
that's
price
only
of
if you
shipping
choose
is covered.
in an auction.
Yep,
It's all, if you never go into the auction phase, you'll never have to ship your piece.
right,
Right.
exactly. So then, and it may
Very simple.
turn out that it's not very popular, or maybe it will be. It's a free, you can enter it for free. So there's no, and I was telling Pam and Lori, how do Pam and I were discussing, well, how do I keep people from another country from entering into the auction divisions? Well, we put up a lot of notices saying, this is only for the US residents because of,
Yeah.
click here to learn why. And then we'll have a
Right.
page.
That doesn't work at the moment. the learn why.
I know, I haven't finished the learn why.
Oh,
I see you
Because
found
I
it.
clicked on it and it didn't.
again, this might
So
be temporary.
I was working on that just when the meeting came around.
Yeah,
Um,
I know you were. Yeah.
So then, and we have the ability to delete any entry. And when there's no entry fee, then we don't have to refund entry fees, which is, PayPal doesn't like it when you refund things to people a lot, because then they think that either the people aren't getting what they expected or it wasn't a good product if you have to keep refunding over and over and over again. So they'll bar us if we do that. So it was a good thing we decided to go with no entry fee on those auction divisions. So, and the only reason we wanted an entry fee was to help build, prize money up. But again, that might make a difference in if people want to do it or not. So I think what is going to happen is there's going to be a few that enter, and then people are going to see how it's working, and then they're going to come back and see maybe a couple more people have entered, and they're going to see the prize money's growing, and we can even use that as a, check out the prize money on the so-and-so division and share that link directly on our Wildfowl carving page, championships Facebook page and Instagram. Oh, actually everything I put on Instagram, on Facebook is now going on Instagram, I believe. At least if I advertise.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
It's taken quite a while to get to this point. It's going to take some time for the word to get out there and people start realize what's going on. But I just very pleased where we're at right now. There's a couple little glitches, and again, I think it's going to be just temporary with the auction.
Right.
We're gonna figure something out. But
well, we are going to have a dummy website set up for us to test. We deleted all the contests, all the users that were used as contest testers, not you. And well, I did delete you too anyway.
Yeah.
And so we cleaned up the server, got rid of all the old entry photos and all of that. And then our guy took a picture of the website, and then he's creating a test Wildfowl carving championships, so that we can go in and we won't mess with anything. And if there's something that's not right, we say, wait, so that's why we decided, yes, we're just going to run with it. I knew I could get them set up correctly, and I did. It was pretty exciting at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. I went and I clicked on every single one of those. Now there's an extra countdown circle Pam was pointing out right now, and that's because we have weeks, and we never really had weeks before. We always had days. So now I can go in. I'd have to do it for every single one of the different content or divisions and eliminate that. But what's going to happen is they're going to go away. Pam, you said people don't like scrolling.
Scale them down a bit or something.
Can you well, see, I think that we'd have to go in and do you know how you can go in and change it?
I can check to see. I can check to see if the CSS, if I can do it manually.
You can do it CSS. Because I remember asking.
The icon is too large.
I can even hide that one that says week.
So what I asked Jake months ago is if we had ability to change the size and the colors and all of that and style of the countdown. And he said yes. So that was done through CSS. So maybe we can, I like it, all of them, but maybe they could be like half the size.
Well, they'd be nice if they were just one row. The
right.
fact that the seconds goes on to the second row and they're big, you have got to scroll down the page before you get to see if there's any entries.
Right.
And the old thing about people don't stay on a page if they can't see what they want to see routine.
Right.
It was just, I looked at it and I thought, have they grown? But then I realized while I was typing it to you, oh, of course, we didn't have weeks.
Right.
We only had days. So it was only one row. So
Yep.
it was
Yep.
just an observation.
There's we realized, what was the thing that we realized? And I wrote it to Sean that
Hiding the entries on someone's page until the judging
What it
was
was.
done.
Absolutely, that's what it was, Pam. Thank you so much for remembering. We had to,
Because
once the, oh, I actually have to go back and change that right now. We have to make your profile, it says that you have a profile and you're a member and everything on the main users page, but you can't click your name to get into your profile. And there's a thing that says, if it does go there, it'll say your user profile will be available after the private judging has been completed, so that the judges can go and look at your profile and see what your entries are. Because I don't know if you know this, Joe, but though your entries will be listed in your profile page under contests, and then your awards will also be displayed on your profile page after the championships is over and the private judging is done. But if they're available to see to the public, then a judge could see what your entry was. And we've gone to great lengths to make sure that the judges don't know whose entries they are, at least from our end. Like when you do your video, you're going to put that link in there on your entry. And after your photos complete uploading, all 8 of them, it'll tint to blue once it's uploaded and say uploaded for each one of your pictures. That URL box is going to disappear all of a sudden. And that's because the URL box isn't available to anyone but Lori and I on the back end, so that we can see if it's an appropriate URL, number one. And what happened when you clicked enter, after you say enter, you pay, it comes back, your photos upload, your video disappears, and then it'll say, the window will close and it'll say you entered, and then this is your entry number. You don't have to write that down or anything. It's just a random number that's been assigned to this entry and you as a carver or an entrant competitor. But in the background, what's going on is that video on your YouTube channel is being grabbed by our server, and it's being renamed with the entry number and the contest number in the description. The title of the video is the entry number, and the contest or division that it's in, there's a special assigned number to each one of these divisions is in there, so that we can sort them. And then we create a playlist of all of those videos for that division for the judges to view when they actually judge them live. So your name is hidden. We turn the sound off, and all that is seen is the entry number and the contest number to the judges. So that's pretty slick. And it was really hard for us. First, we weren't going to do floating, and then it was apparent that it had to be done. But how do you do it and mask it off and make sure the world doesn't know who's doing it until after the judging? So this is how it came around, and it's working really well. So you'll see that. So if somebody goes and views, a public person, another user goes and views your entry, it'll look like you don't have a video because it's not visible to the public until after the public judging. And then it becomes visible and it links directly to your YouTube account. So if you had a title, say it was a redhead drake or a, pied-billed grebe, and your description saying that you carved it out of Tupelo and this year or whatever, that's in your real YouTube video, that's what your link is going to go to, your real YouTube video. We're just taking a copy of it, masking things off and using it for judging, and then it gets deleted and your video will link to there as long as the contest page is showing the winner's page.
And it gives you a link to your YouTube channel?
Yep, to the exact video that you submitted for the judging. But it'll be unmasked because it's on your YouTube channel. It remains on your YouTube channel all the time. So I suppose a judge could, try to find a specific person's YouTube channel and thwart it that way, but our judges have more integrity than that. They don't have time to be doing that kind of stuff just to find certain things out like that. And if they do, maybe we wouldn't have even asked them to judge. So,
One strike, you're out.
yeah.
I've just
So
written
this
down
week-
another
Yeah.
I need to do.
This week,
We need this. That's
We're-
great.
we're having I was trying to tell you what we're having done. I went and checked a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. We're having the time zone thing's going to be corrected.
Right.
I was going to explain to you guys so you understand why your photos were out of order and their numbers. Okay. I figured it out
Oh.
and Sean confirmed it. What happens is if you have a photo that's not accepted, if it's the wrong format, if it's the wrong size, or the wrong dimensions, it'll look like it's uploaded. It'll look like it's accepting it. And I even had an instance where I was able I noticed as I was uploading, after I paid the entry fee, that I had two that was like 6.38 and one that was 6.75. And I thought, uh-oh, I wonder what's going to happen when you've already paid and your photos aren't right. So it went through everything. It did my video link thing. It said you entered. And I thought, okay. So I went and I looked, and sure enough, I had an entry in the gallery page. I clicked on the entry and I only had 6 pictures. So what happened was it actually knocked out those 2 pictures. When I went in to try to edit it, it wouldn't let me leave until I added 2 more pictures of the right size. So you kind of get stuck there, and if you don't realize what's going on. So the reason that the numbers were out of order, because I saw when I went to edit the entry, I saw that like number 2 didn't go and number 5 didn't go. So there was 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. And it's only because those were the numbers that were kicked out. We were right, by the way. Remember when we wondered on the public vote? I described that to Sean, how we came up with a tie. We had 5 entries. We only had 4 votes, and the awards were awarded. I said it was either one of 2 ways, either in the order they were entered or the order that we awarded or that they were awarded. No, it had to be the order
on.
they're entered.
Voted on. Yeah, voted on.
Yeah,
Or voted on, yeah, voted
Voted
on.
on, yep,
So
voted on.
he confirmed that that was absolutely true. He was impressed, actually, that we caught that one. And understood why we eliminated the public vote from our entries, because we may have an instance where somebody will they'll only have 2 entries in a division, and say the junior division. And so there's only two places, and maybe there's only 2 votes, and you know, whoever got voted on first, they get to win. So I guess that would be appropriate, because the person who voted first could have chosen the other one first, if you think about it.
I get the feeling I need to write some more test scripts.
I love it. And I don't think
Well, another-
Lori has seen the test script that Pam wrote. I'll have to forward it to you.
That's just the beginning, because I wrote the first part of it and wanted to check that that was sensible. It's on the lines of test scripts I have written for years.
Okay.
But it enables people to test in different places at different times, different time zones, record what they see, screenshot if necessary, and then it can go back to you guys and you can see what they're seeing, and we can flag it up. But I'm just feeling more scripts at the moment.
Okay.
The thing with having the scripts is that they can be run as many times as you want, and also they can be modified down the line if you start setting up different competitions.
Well, that, and then also modified for any changes we might have made, which the time zones one, you could you could put any kind of text into the URL link field, and it would have accepted your entry without a video. So we had to actually pay to make sure that that doesn't happen. So, you know, one of those things you just didn't realize, because Jeff had done something. I think Jeff was the one who discovered that one, that you didn't have to have a link or something like that. So that's going to be locked up. The things that he's working on are really almost cosmetic more than functional. We need to have the prize money appear on the winners page after the contest is done. It does not show. And I think that's incentive for next time. And, you know, another thing that he said, well, you know, that wasn't in the original thing, and he was right, you know. So there's that. And there's one other thing that he's working on this week, and he'll be done, I don't know, he said between the 14th and the end of the week. So they only work Monday through Friday, and he works pretty fast. So he'll let us know, and we'll let you, and if you like test. No, I don't think we don't want Joe to test, because he's definitely entering his stuff.
Yeah.
We just want you to enter.
You're
That's what we want.
You don't have to test.
Enter for sure.
Yeah, enter for sure.
But what is the developers working on right at the moment, Laurie?
I'm sorry, I don't have, let me quick just get Jake's last email. And
Because like you said, most of the things that we're finding right now are cosmetic in
Cosmetic.
nature and not a functional
Oh.
issue.
Yes. We're gonna be able to, if somebody doesn't have the right amount of photos, because remember there was a glitch that I actually happened, I couldn't reproduce it. Of course, I had my screencast video recorder going, and I was gonna show him that I was able to make an entry without an, enough. It didn't catch it on the front before I paid, that the two photos were too large, and I could not reproduce it. And it's not happening now. I tried it and tried it myself, and I didn't need you guys to try it to know that it's not happening anymore.
What happened to my moose, I think.
Okay, well, yes, I think that happened to your moose, but
Yeah, because
anyway,
three photos showing, didn't you?
right. And so
No way to add.
also, in the manual, or no, I'm sorry, the guide and everywhere else that was appropriated, I put the .gif, .jpeg, .ping as a format, file format for photos, so that people know that and don't try to upload a TIFF or something different. We toyed with the idea of, how we're going to, we can't remove a contest, which is why Leo and Pam had to have new accounts made up. Well, we can remove a contest. We can't remove the ribbons that were awarded from a contest.
Yeah.
Because we actually asked him to program it so that the ribbons would always show in your profile. So there was nothing built in to make those things disappear.
That's logical.
Programs are literal, people.
They are. And so it's something we could maybe look at in the future, but it wasn't something really necessary, and it was going to cost more money to take care of that right now. So instead, Lori and I have, and actually Jeff, all have our test ribbons that say 2020, and they mean nothing. And because we're admins, and we didn't want to delete our user files and create any issues at this point, late date. Everything's working really well right now. So then
The best it has been anyhow.
He is setting up that test server. He talked about us catching the ties in the voting, and there's one more thing. It's called Photo Requirements Checker. It will check the contest every few hours for missing contestant photos and mail them reminders. And we'll be able to
Good idea.
We'll be able to set the number of times we want to send them a reminder. And once we stop sending them reminders and the contestant complies with the minimum photos required, what we'll do is we'll remove that entry, email the contest that his or her entry was removed, and then they'll have their entry fee auto refunded. The other thing we just, I just saw that that's going to come up. I just know we're going to have to do that. So I wanted that capability. Then the other thing was, let's see. Oh, we
Do you know what
talked
that number is?
the number.
On how many automatic emails reminders that will be sent to a contestant?
What we'll have control over the number of emails. We'll be able to set that. 3 emails, 4 emails, no emails. So that'll be something we'll physically be able to test. And
Are you gonna have a cutoff time? Like, I know we've got, what, 29 days or whatever it is, 28 days.
right,
But as it gets closer, if they haven't added that in, as it gets closer to the time, if there's more than one or whatever, you guys might be swamped trying to figure out, who you're deleting, or is that gonna automatically happen?
no, that would automatically happen.
Well, that's good.
So we
That's
don't have to, because that's what he said. If you're gonna have more than 30 entries, you probably want to have some sort of control over letting somebody know about that. They're, don't have enough photos. The other thing too is, depending upon, I suppose it would have to be even for everybody. So yeah, we'll have to make sure. I'm just checking on my last list here.
So you'd have like a specific cutoff date. You've got till this date to make sure you get your photos.
Right.
You don't do it. You might still have 2 days left in the contest. They get deleted. They can always rejoin if they've got
That's
the
right.
photo.
So it'll probably be a week buffer or something like that to give them time, because obviously something wasn't correct on their end, whether they didn't take enough pictures or they have to go back and take pictures.
Right.
We'll also be able to edit the text in that email that we send them, saying, whatever we want, and encouraging them to get their photos updated. And once they go in, like I said, and try to update it, it's gonna make them do it. I wonder if I better ask Jake about that.
Yeah, because you might be able to give them a certain number of times, like, this is your third notice, and that's
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah.
You've got
Right.
X
We'll
number
only-
of time before we just stop and delete it. Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't know if we'll get it that, so that like the next one goes out, says you only get 2 more chances. But
I think it goes out, I think that is stated in the very first one you have, like
yeah,
1 week. You'll be receiving these for 1 week.
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
that,
but if it's in the last week of the contest, like if it's 5 days to go,
you're right. You're right.
Then you got to change it because you only got 5 days. You don't have a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
but if you can edit it, it would be a system admin job. But in the last week,
That's the last thing I want to start adding is things that we
right.
need to do.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Jake and Sean if, when I had those 2 missing photos, I didn't try to get out of there or try to upload anything wrong. I just uploaded
I
the 2
couldn't.
missing photos, and I should have tried. Did you try, Lori?
Mhm.
And were you able to upload the correct ones then?
Nope.
Well, are you sure that the ones that you were trying to upload were correct?
Yeah, because I tried to upload the duplicates of the ones that did upload.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Good
that's,
test.
I knew they
that's
were
what I
right.
found.
That was smart.
So that's what I found too. When I ended up with 9, or which, this is why I'm writing the tests, you see.
Right.
It showed that I'd got the 8 photos on the entry form. But in fact, no, it showed 9. It showed 9. But when I deleted one, yeah, it showed 9. I counted them. This is why I've got a test for too many and a test for not enough.
Okay, and that's good.
But when I removed, this is it, the remove and the update entry buttons weren't working.
And
That was the thing.
that, let's See, that,
Which
I
is,
think that we were working with a contest that was not set correctly. It was before I had really grasped what was going on in the software. And I don't know that we'd be able, because I kept trying to reproduce it and I couldn't do it. So I can see Sean's frustration when it's us or me,
Yeah.
let's not say us, to them it's
Us.
us, who doesn't know what the hell we're doing. And he knows it's running perfectly. So he's really fast to admit when there's something he's missed or caused or an error. So, and we've
And
worked
very
with him now.
tactful about calling us a dummy.
Yeah. You know, we've been working very closely with them for so long, for 9 months
Yeah.
now, every week, except for one span of 13 days when we got a little worried and communications were off, but that wasn't
We
their
have to
fault
put them on our Christmas card list.
or our fault. Yeah. So, you know, I think that the things that they're going to be doing are more cosmetic and more simple, makes things a little more simple or more our use than maybe even the competitors.
right.
It'll be interesting. Are you going to make any entries, Pam?
I don't know. I've been too busy doing texting.
Too busy. Okay, all right. Well, I hope that you're going to, just because you were a tester, don't think that you shouldn't enter. Again, we're not judges.
If I enter something, it will be something that I haven't been entering in the test.
Okay, good, good. All right, that's
And
good.
And
I'm
I'm,
already trying to encourage people. I was talking to a carver the other day who says he's got carvings all round him that he's been carving for our show. We're deciding tomorrow whether we will be able to have our show this year. And I said, well, enter it in this competition. And he said he would. It's just the question of the photos. This guy, brilliant carver, can't word process, writes me articles on paper in block capitals. He's doing one at the moment, and then I have to key them in. And he usually gets another carver who is a good photographer to come round and take the photos. But of course, we can't do that. We're locked down.
Right, right. And
I know you guys can have someone come to your house. We can't.
right.
We
Well,
can't have someone come.
Well, I was going to say, I was even
Here,
thinking
too.
that there might be opportunities for, there are some clubs that are meeting here in Minnesota. The Minnesota Decoy Club is meeting, and they're going to Tom Fleming's tile building, and
Yeah,
so
I
think
get
that-
notifications.
yeah, you get those emails, right? So I was
They
thinking
haven't
that
shut
there'd
them
be
down yet.
an opportunity for clubs to have an entry day where people bring their entries and they got it set up so that they could get them photographed and they could have assistance in getting them uploaded and entered into the
Brilliant
content.
idea.
Yeah.
That would
Great
be great.
idea.
It won't happen over here because
You're
clubs
done.
aren't meeting.
Okay.
Nothing's meeting.
Yeah.
Not even the
Sounds like it
sequel.
wouldn't happen for Joe either. They're pretty locked down in Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
Idaho's
Yeah.
locked down too, pretty good.
Well, and they
Yeah.
could do that to us too. Don't
Right.
kid yourself.
I mean,
But
they're
that
trying
was
to
a good
make us
idea.
wear 2 masks now.
Yeah,
2
brilliant.
masks
or more.
or more. I can just see our ears are going to look like this.
So tell me this, why aren't
My
masks?
mother always told me, stop tucking your hair behind your ears. You're going to have elephant ears. And I see it on all the politicians on on TV. Their ears are all like pushed forward.
And they're not Republicans.
Oh, no politics, no politics. So, okay, back to what we were talking about. So, those updates are going to happen this week, and I think that it would be important, Pam, for you especially to test again the new updates. I don't know, you know, and you can do it. You'll be able to do it at your leisure, at your own time zone.
Yeah.
And, you know, using the protocol you got going here on your script, that's really fantastic. And we'll be able to do the same thing and then maybe compare notes.
Well, that's the idea, because then, you know, if I do a test at a certain time in my time zone, which will be recorded, and I don't know, I've added one thing to the test script since I sent it to you. I've included, you write down the times shown, you know, how long is it to go, and your time of doing the test. So if I then send it to you, and you can write down, well, your test was done X time, and it's showing X time. You can compare.
Well, we'll also be able to compare the log file and see if the times are jiving there. But I think by the time Sean's done with this, it's gonna probably be pretty, it was pretty goofy. Also, there was a WordPress update which interfered with the counter on our site, and it added first it took a day away, and I'm looking at it going, what do you mean it's only 2 days? Because it was 3 days, and I needed that extra day. So,
Yeah.
and
It's important to do that
All
update.
the
It was a
effort has gone
security
into
update
trying to
too.
get that clock to work that time.
yeah, so and now I switched out the clock, and now it's counting down to the close of entries. And
Right.
still have that warning on our WordPress dash saying something's goofy with the timer. I don't know what we can do about that, but it seems close enough to me for now. It'll be more critical when we get to 2 weeks, baby. That'd be accurate.
Or 2 days maybe.
Yeah, 2 days. Yeah. Okay. I can't think of anything else. There was a couple of things that I was going to run past you that whenever I think of something that might be nice for future updates when we have money again. Right now, the participants and the public votes are displayed together on our back end. So we can't separate them on the back end. I want them to be able to separate because I want the participants to show, and I don't want it to say, you know, 0 votes all the time when we don't even have the public vote enabled. So that should actually make that go away, and that's what I'm going to ask for. I want the judges that were selected on our back end as judges for that division to be listed on the winners page. I think that's pretty important.
Yeah.
I would like some, I haven't written this down, but I thought of this today. I would like to have some sort of a tally of how many entries there are overall, period, to be showing
That
for
would
the
be
public.
good. That might encourage people.
Right. We can't sort the contests by number. When you create a contest on the back end, contest is a division, by the way, Joe. It's just a different name that we've given it. The software calls it a contest, and we have several contests running at the same time, one for each division that's available at every level. So When I say contest, that's what I'm referring to. And when we create them, they're assigned a number, and I'm assigning, I'm making all these contests up after we got things straightened out, and one number disappeared. I don't know how it could disappear, but it skips over one number. And when I went to sort them by number so that I could do the ribbons better, I couldn't sort them by contest. So, just by the column, I would have liked to be able to do that. So I'm going to ask him to do that. It works out pretty good though, searching by a certain keyword.
Right,
find the
ID.
contests that you needed, which is what I did when I was doing the ribbons assignments.
Have you tried ID?
Yeah,
I
that's
put a little plugin that lets you see the ID of the contest, which is where it's at in the database.
right.
that's-
It shows you the
there.
ID, but you can't sort it by the ID. I guess
Oh.
the ID number is the contest number. You can't sort it by that.
Huh.
You would think you could. You can't. So that's just one of those things to ask for. And in the junior divisions, we aren't asking for entry fees. They're not being awarded any prize money. So it's always going to say 0 prize money for first, second, and third. And that's kind of tacky.
Do we want that off, or do we? I mean,
Can
can
you
they?
get that off? If you could take that off of the juniors divisions.
Let me see if I can target it.
Okay, because it just is kind of
That'd be
depressing
great.
that they don't get money.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and I did put in there.
Congratulations, you won nothing.
I did explain in the junior division that they'd be able to find their awards, their award ribbons, or any awards underneath their profile, and that's where they'd be placed once they were awarded to them.
Yeah.
But other than that, I haven't really, the big dream right now, after all of this happens and successfully we pull the contest off, is having what's called a, what is it? It's the contest that doesn't have, it's not usable. It's a view only contest. So that we'll be able, I can't remember the name. It's standalone. It's not you don't enter these contests, but it's the record of every single entry that was made. Right now, when the contest ends, the entries, the actual entry and looking at those entries goes away. Only the winner's photos of the main photo selected is what's shown as the winning entry. So, that's the other thing. Off the winner's page, when he's done this week, you'll be able to click onto the winner's profile page from the winner's page. Right now, it doesn't link to the profile page of the winner, which I think is important because that shows any other awards they might have gotten on their entries and any other contests that they're involved in and waiting for. So what do they call that? It's a standalone version of of each contest, and he can do it. It's just that's another
Feature.
Feature
Feature.
is the big word, and
Add-on.
it's probably going to be another $3,000 to have something like that done. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've got to see how this one goes, and you can develop on it.
exactly.
Right.
That's why I said that's the big dream, because actually we went into this thinking that the contests would always show up. They'd always, you don't think about when you end a contest it goes away. I mean, it's not, their plugin's not set up for it to stay. So for us to have it's a read only That's the name. Read only
Right.
copy of our contests, so that it'll be there in the archives forever for 2021. You can go in 2025 and see what happened in 2021. It'll also keep people from entering the same piece again. It's hard, you know, things like that. Keep them honest. But that, like I said, that's one of those things that we didn't consider. We thought we would have, and we don't. So we do have the ability to take all of the entries and put them in a gallery. We bought some software that does the gallery, that Envira gallery thing we have. So we'll have to do something like that for this time around, which will be a manual thing for Lori and I to take care of. But I think that Lori can even put the ribbon on the photos, or, you know, something. I mean, there was another contest that, was it Vancouver or somewhere in Canada, that had a show, and they had some pretty nice photos of the winning entries that had the ribbon just kind of hanging over the top of the photo.
Oh, really?
It's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So we looked at some of those ribbons before we chose the ribbon we found. That's such a cool ribbon, what we have. Lori's taken a white ribbon and she's been able to convert it into the colors we need, any color we want, and then add all the text to it. So she's the graphic whiz on the ribbons, and all the pretty stuff on our website, the colors.
All the programming back end stuff that makes it look good.
Yes.
Sean makes it work. You design it. I make it pretty.
So.
Good team. Yeah.
So any more questions, Joe?
No, that'll be all for me. It's just wanted to be part of it.
I'm glad you want to, and it's fun having, it's always a little bit different, these Saturday meetings, different people pop in. And I wonder if, now, when Leo and Pam came in, did you come in from an email from before, or did you come in and have to type in a password?
I came to
Well,
this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was able to click on, before I had to get on my regular computer and type all the information into my iPad. But
Okay.
on this time, you had down there, there was a little, highlighted blue thing, and I just clicked right on that and got in.
And you didn't have to use a password?
Nope.
Whereas I had just finished another meeting, so I had a Zoom session open. So I just copied the meeting number in and then typed in the password. But that's just because I'd got Zoom open.
Perfect. So now, was the password the WW or WCC123? Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned that, see, the thing is I'm using my personal account, which is a licensed account, but Lori and I use the same account when we meet, but we have a different password. So I don't know. That's what's my confusion is. Is it defined by the password if we're using my meeting ID all the time?
Well, it depends how you've got it set up when you set the meeting up in Zoom. Personally, and I've got a paid account, which I'm also I'm using for the BDWCA as well for various meetings, but I always let the system generate a unique meeting ID and a unique password. So I never reuse the same thing.
Okay.
Oh, and I just set mine up just like one, and it's weekly at the same time. So, for my Pole Theory course. So all they got to do is hit that link on the sidebar and they're in, and I can do it for a year out. So.
Yeah, I attend a meeting on Monday that is the same
Okay.
details every time, but to make
That's an
people feel
option.
more.
I'm sorry, what?
It's an option. It's an option in setting up the meeting. You can choose whether you want to use your unique ID.
Yes, I did
Or let the
see that.
generate.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so I should be using a unique ID every week.
Don't have
Probably
to.
safer that way.
It's up to you.
It's easier if you just set it up saying it's a recurring meeting.
I did, but then it disappears and it's not,
Oh, mine
I
hasn't.
don't understand that. That's
Oh,
why I'm having it, that's why I'm having
You have an end date.
confusion about the password, because it only shows you and my personal meeting that we usually have at 1 o'clock Central Time. That's a recurring meeting, and I've tried to set this one up as a recurring meeting, and it just doesn't remember it for some reason. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I'll get to the bottom of that before next
maybe
week.
that's an extra paid feature.
Well, no, I
I
paid.
don't think,
Well, I know, but I mean an extra paid
Yeah.
feature.
oh, it could be, but I don't think so.
No, I don't know. Because
Okay.
I've never tried it with more than one either. So I just do it for color theory and let it go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's not much else to talk about. I'd hope that there would be some other people who would ask how to, maybe our instructions are just so good that they don't need us.
Well, I
That'd be
appreciate
nice.
everyone's involvement, everyone here today. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions?
I got one question. Just looking at I haven't looked at the rules close enough, I guess. But looking at what you can enter, under the traditional section, you've got masters and apprentice. So since I'm a novice, I'd be under apprentice.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I might have something that I can get a hold of and take a picture for something, take
Oh.
pictures and enter just for that, because I know where it's at. I can get it. So
Good. That's wonderful. That's
so
wonderful.
we'll see.
Yeah,
Other
I
than
kinda,
that, I'm still working on something to see if I can get it done in time.
good. Well, I look around and I've got several of my originals, and it would be fun to be able to compete them. But we didn't want any conflict. I don't want any conflict of interest, and somebody's going to have to be on the back end managing,
The
judging.
last piece is always your best, right?
That's right.
Isn't that the truth? In the carving world,
That's true. That is true, Jeff. So,
always getting better.
okay. Well, I'm glad. I hope Vic wasn't trying to get in and doing something that I steered him in the wrong direction somehow, not knowing, but
Well,
he'll get a hold of me if he wants to know more. And let's just hope for some entries to come in. I think we ought to make an award for whoever does that first.
Well, that's what I suggested the other day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So right now we have no entries yet.
Nope.
not yet.
And Matus poo-pooed that idea, because I said, well, maybe, have an award for the, one of the badges,
Right.
like courageous or something, for the first person that enters. And then they've got bragging rights.
They do.
I got a badge
So maybe-
because.
Okay, maybe that's what we do is they'll get the courageous badge because they were courageous enough to be first.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, that
It's
makes
fun.
it less complicated too. Well, and then the other thing that we've kind of kicked around the last meeting was having charter competitors, the ones who compete in 2021. And you'll never be a charter competitor after this year. You'll be a regular competitor, and that's fine. But charter competitors are going to hold a status, I think.
Yeah, you can give that to anybody that enters, though.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
2021, yep. Everybody who enters in 2021 gets to be a charter competitor. But
Charter
other
member.
than that, it's only going to happen this first year.
Yeah. anything that encourages people to enter has got to be good this time
Right.
around, surely.
I kind of expected there's,
Jumping. I don't know.
yeah. Well, I half expected some, there are some people that I know are, they like to get the ribbons, and some of them, you know, are always there at Johnny on the spot at every contest, and I kind of expected that we'd have some of those. Usually it's, you know, novices and intermediates, but again, I think everybody's waiting for the first person.
Oh, talking about badges and all that stuff, when you deleted Pam and I to get rid of the
Oh.
stuff that we,
You
It
didn't
also
get your
deleted
cool
some of the-
badges, your IWCA
some of the
stuff.
badges got disappeared too,
I
right?
will go, okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I've made you do this before. Okay, badges
I
back
didn't get rid of
to
hard work
Pam
with a badge.
and Leo. Well, we like
Thank
to
you for
make sure
bringing me-
everybody's rewarded for their efforts, and
We should give them
Thank you
an
for reminding us.
OM badge for being so patient.
yes, oh my gosh, yes. So, okay, well, I think we can go ahead and end the meeting unless somebody else has any questions. And if you don't now and you come up with something later, you know how to get hold of us, or me, or Lori, or Pam. You know, yeah.
One question. I'm thinking test scripts. It's sad. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking test scripts. Very
Yes.
sad.
Welcome.
Okay, in the new world, the world that people are competing in, you've completed your entry, and the gallery page will not show their video.
It won't show their video until after the judging has been completed.
Okay,
So one of
but
the
if
tests,
they go,
one of the
if
tests,
they go to their profile, because if they go to their profile, they will then see the video, because they might want to change the video.
right, right. Only the contestant will see their video.
Yeah.
And yes, you can switch out your video. The other thing that might be tested, if you didn't include that, and I might have missed that, was entering gibberish text instead of a URL into that video link, because Sean said that he was going to make sure it had to be a URL. He can't make it be a video link at the other end of that URL, but if it could been, you know, not even a complete
Yeah, but if
URL.
someone types in, this is my video,
Yeah, right.
that would appear to be a URL.
No,
Well,
and that's
possibly.
one of the other things that he's doing this week. So if
Get
you
off.
type in anything other than a URL, it'll say you have to enter a URL. Just like if you put in too many pictures or too few, it'll
Yeah.
warn you about that.
Yeah. Well, I've got tests for that, but
Okay.
I'll add a couple more tests. That's the joy of test scripts. You can always add another test script and another one and another one.
That's right. And what I like is the size. The size was great for reading, you know, and actually
Well,
you
it's logical to have it landscape,
Guys,
because if you're writing on it anyway, and by keeping it in manageable chunks.
Right.
Yeah, I've done a lot of test scripts. A lot of test scripts.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I can tell. We
Thank
could
you very
tell.
much.
We are so impressed.
I'll be honest and say I don't throw things away. So I have got all sorts of documentation from my past life. And so I found a test script, saved it as, deleted the bits I didn't want, and started working from there.
Perfect.
Because apart from anything else, I knew it would fit on US letter and A4, because all the test scripts I wrote were for an international system.
Good.
So it had to print out without any variation on how much information was on one page in both the US and the UK. And believe me, that took a lot of calculation to get the margins right.
I bet
No
you
sense
did.
reinventing the wheel.
Right.
No, I'm a strong believer in not reinventing the wheel.
Well,
Me too.
I hate Publisher now too. And, you know, my experience with Publisher has been with the IWCA and setting up that rules book every year.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty much set up. I never set it up. I just got it and then had to like edit a word here or a word there, or a date here or a date there.
Yeah.
So I wasn't changing things up, and I never had to print it. And I tried printing the publisher
It
document.
prints fine. As a booklet, it prints fine. I've printed it. I've got it over there. It printed perfectly.
Okay, so you were able to like put it out and fold it? Or are you
One
talking?
second.
I got the, I use Publisher a lot for a fish club magazine, and I have no problems with Publisher, but I can't convert the PDF to print.
Okay, and oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, see, I can do that with Publisher
Okay.
easy.
So if I printed it out, it would, and laid them out, they would fold just like that, be perfect.
If you print it out, printing double-sided, so both sides of the paper,
That's my
What result?
problem. So I wasn't doing both sides. I was doing single
oh
sided.
yeah,
And
Okay.
you've got
the
to,
booklet printing is designed to print both sides of the paper. That's the only way it will work out, because if I take this sheet as an example,
Right,
this is page 66 and page 19.
right.
So
Then you pile them up and they're all right. Okay,
yeah,
You gotta
literally
correlate
it comes
okay. All right.
and you fold it in half and bingo. One.
Super. Okay, well, that's what I was after.
yeah, Publisher works fine. I love Publisher.
But I
Oh no,
just,
it's got restrictions. If you've used better software, it's got restrictions like you can't automatically generate a table of contents. So if something moves, it goes skewy. And the only way to avoid system hyphenation, which is usually absolute rubbish, that was using a polite word, is to actually turn off automatic hyphenation in the text box.
okay. All right. well,
So I've learned quite a lot about Publisher.
You know, I'm just going to
Yeah.
say, you know more about it than I do, because I just use it, and I just use like the text boxes. I just use
Yeah.
Word in that. So I'll just, download a Word thing in that. I just got to make the text box big enough and whatever number of text boxes I need. But
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, okay,
But it's
I will
not-
try and do it two-sided. And I think
Yeah.
what I have to do is print the one side and then manually put them back through and print the second side, because I don't have a thing that'll do it that way, a printer that does it automatically.
Oh, that's a pity. Most printers do that now.
Yeah, mine
well,
does.
mine does too.
Check. You might find that it's in the software, the setting is in the software. So when you go to print, printer properties, go to printer properties, and you will probably find double-sided printing is
The tick
supported.
box.
And for this, you need to, I've forgotten the exact word, flip on the short edge, because it'll ask you if
Yes,
you want
that's
it
what
to
I was
flip.
saying. It did give me
So
the
it-
option I did look at booklet, and it did give me the option to fold on the short side or the long side. And I was gonna have to manually pull out the paper and put it in, but then I ran out of paper. And so I couldn't print. But I was trying just to see what it would look like, and it did not look like it made sense. But if I
It
printed
looks
it,
very
it would have.
No.
Double-sided, yeah. If you print it double-sided, it's absolutely A-okay.
Okay, well, I've got it in the one-page form, and that's what I did just because I knew that was
That's fine.
having trouble.
That's Pam. That's why I was worried when I sent you the corrections, because in the PDF, even though it says you can print it like a booklet, it wouldn't let me do it like I do it in Publisher, and so it was all
I know.
mixed up.
PDFs can be, I've had some
Okay.
good fun trying to print.
So that's
in PDF.
that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to print from PDF, and that didn't work. And I was trying to print from Publisher, and that looked really wrong, but it was really right. So now I know better. Thank you for the quick instructions on that. Okay. So I will get your badges back for you guys. Sorry about that. And if there's anything else, no?
You'll let us know, and you'll let us know when we
That's what I can
test
think of.
system.
Right, yeah. And I don't think, Lori, we don't need to meet? Or do we?
Can't think of anything.
No, we pretty much talk about everything here now.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, good.
But I
Thank
don't
you,
like seeing
everybody.
a smiling face, but
Well, I know. It's
Are we
look
gonna-
good, you know, in 10 minutes.
Are we going to meet again next week, or is this going to be recurring?
This is
Or
always gonna keep recurring for whoever
Okay.
wants to join the meeting. You know, if somebody starts trying to do entries and they have issues, maybe they'll show up. Maybe they'll realize they could actually probably tap us on the shoulder in Zoom. I think I've always got it on. Or email or messenger or text or whatever. We're totally available. So we want to be totally available.
I actually prefer either talking on the phone or Zoom. I like Zoom because you can see the person. I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
stand emailing because I'm lousy at typing and writing and all that.
And things can be can be read differently than they're written by their
Yeah.
intent. So, okay. Well, everybody, you have a good rest of your day. And Joe, I hope to see your entries someday soon. And let us know if you have any questions. I
I'll
always
work on it. Thank you
always
for
have to
having me.
catch myself. I want to say love you, but you know, I do. Everybody have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.